Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Drinking Wine at 9. Why? Because it's 9 o'clock and we be drinking. Today I have a very special guest, first time to the table. His name is Will Thompson. He is part owner and winemaker for these beautiful Colorado wines. The Bookcliff Vineyards, tectonic part of that. We love when there is a little bit of wine royalty at Argonaut. We can't thank you enough for joining us, Will, and welcome to Denver and welcome to the table. So let's talk about these wines.
All right, so yeah, my name's Will again. I'm the part owner and winemaker for Bookcliff. The first wine we have today is our Tectonic White blend. So the Tectonic White is mostly composed of a hybrid grape, so it's a cross between a French and American varietal.
Sure.
They're really cold hardy, which is a great thing to use in Colorado with our, kind of rougher shoulder seasons compared to the rest of the Western U.S. Aromatics I find on this is very heavy on grapefruit, a little bit of a kind of a fruitiness, a tropical fruitiness.
Yeah, little hibiscus and peach blossom.
Yeah, and then the finish is a bit more of that kind of sweet fruit. So it's not a sweet wine, right? It's totally sugar dry, but the sweet fruit kind of gives it more of a sweeter finish.
It does. It's very tropical. I mean, I would definitely pair this with a Caesar salad, a spring salad, a pasta primavera. Not necessarily oysters or fried chicken because of the hint of muscat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Just because of that. But it's a beautiful wine and it's incredibly well balanced.
Thanks.
I like that. Now, are all of these grapes grown in Colorado?
Yeah, so everything we do is all Colorado. We have 37 acres in Palisade.
Okay.
And then we grow it out there and then we make all the wine in Boulder. Yeah.
Okay. I like that. That's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful wine. So that brings us to the Tectonic, I like saying that, Tectonic Red.
Yeah, so the Tectonic Red, like the Tectonic White, we use hybrids in it. So the hybrid on the Tectonic Red is Chambourcin, which if there's any hybrid that most people have heard of, it's Chambourcin.
Okay.
And then a lot of Merlot is blended in with it as well. We try to make it not super extracted, so not super tannic, not super like full-bodied. A nice lighter,
it is,
everyday drinking red.
And I think you could even put a slight chill on this and treat it almost like a Pinot Noir, because last few days in Denver it's been 90 degrees.
Yep.
And it's only March. So this would pair beautifully with sandwiches or charcuterie.
Yep.
Something that you don't want to overthink. You just want it to complement the wine.
Yeah.
I like that. So I've asked other winemakers this question. What is your creative process? What is your driving force into making these really nice wines?
Yeah, I mean, I like to be fairly non-interventionist when it comes to the fruit. Luckily for us, we have contracts with really great vineyards. So the fruit is always in really clean shape. Okay. It's always pretty well developed year to year. So I try to let the vintage be the vintage, and I like to try and let the varietal be the varietal, as we'll kind of talk when we get into our single varietal stuff.
Sure. Do you find that in Colorado, the climates can be a little extreme for growing grapes?
So like the issue typically is our shoulder seasons. So the spring and the fall is where we're having a lot of pressures from freezes. So like take this spring, for example, we're gonna probably go to bud break 3 weeks earlier than normal, which, everyone's like, well, it's 92 degrees today in Denver, like we should have no problem. But if it buds out early, all it takes is 30 degrees and you've lost a significant crop. And in Colorado, as we know, like weather changes really quickly, temperatures, there's huge swings and falls. So it's extreme in a sense of freeze, but in terms of heat, it's a short growing season, so it's good that it's really hot because we get really fast ripening.
Fantastic.
And we can get things kind of picked, by mid-October.
I like that. So, single vineyard. Let's talk about the first one.
Yep, so this is our Malbec. It's 100% Malbec.
Wow.
This particular Malbec, we don't do any new oak aging on it. It's all neutral or stainless steel. The point being that Malbec is extremely fruit forward, extremely expressive.
Right.
And we wanted to make a Malbec that showcases the fruit. We have a reserve line where we do a Malbec with more new oak, so we kind of have a two, like, you know, compared to each other.
This is beautiful. I'm smelling a lot of black walnut, some white pepper, cassis,
Yeah, and
black cherry. Who would have thought that a good Malbec like this, I'm impressed, would come from Colorado?
yeah, and if you think to like where most people think of Malbec is, you know, Argentina.
Right.
Mendoza is very similar to Palisade. It's high desert, low precipitation, lots of sun, like really, you know, thinner atmosphere due to altitude.
Sure.
So, you know, I think to me it makes sense when you kind of see a picture of Mendoza and then see a picture of Palisade, like why Malbec would grow well there.
Why not? So let me ask you, what would you pair with your Malbec?
I think because this particular Malbec does have a good amount of acidity and it has some impact of fruit, like it can go well with, you know, your red meats or your fatty meats.
Sure.
It can stand up to a richer, you know, fare, I guess.
Okay. Boeuf bourguignon or
Sure.
a steak on the grill with chimichurri,
Yep.
blue cheese butter sauce. How am I
Yep.
doing?
That sounds good. Yeah.
Doesn't it? With this Malbec, I think that would be
Yeah.
beautiful because there's such elegance and finesse. And this is only the first one.
Yep.
I like it. Gorgeous. These always go by so quickly. So let's talk about the last single vineyard wine that you brought, that you made. Go.
Yep. So this is our Cabernet Franc. A lot of people that have heard of Colorado wine before, they've heard that Cabernet Franc is typically thought of as the grape of Colorado. What I like about Cab Franc is that it has that spiciness, has that pepperiness. So I like to make our Cab Franc to be reflective of that.
Okay.
So, you know, on the nose, you get that pepper. I think of it as kind of a bell pepper or a jalapeno.
Herbaceous.
Yeah. The mid palate is not super intense. And then
Right.
the finish is really dry and tannic and kind of chalky.
That it is. It's very chewy.
Yeah.
Definitely. I think this is more of a food wine than the Malbec.
Yeah. Yeah.
Something needs to be absorbed
Yeah.
in your stomach with this wine because the licorice and the sage and the thyme just really pop.
Yeah.
So food would be a definite compliment.
Yeah.
I like that. What would you pair with this?
I mean, red meats again. Like, I think it's pretty similar to the Malbec because they are more of a, you know, neither of them is super full and rich, I
Right.
guess. They're a bit more lean through the mid palate. They have nice acidity.
Yes,
So
they
things that, like, with fattiness, right, that cut
Sure.
with acidity.
Sure.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful lineup. I mean, it's been a while since I've tasted through the Bookcliff portfolio, so I can't thank you enough
Yeah.
for joining us in Denver in our little studio to introduce not only myself, the staff, but the public about these amazing wines that need to be rediscovered. Miss Sheila will already have them on sale, so please come on down to find out about these wines because I was rather impressed. I'm going to have a little bit of the Malbec before I sign off. So thank you again,
of course.
Will.
Thank you.
And to everybody out there, we hope to see you soon at Argonaut. So cheers to you and your amazing talent.
Thank you.